Okay. Yeah, shalom, shalom, family, shalom, shalom. All praises to you. How about Shimi Shai? And today we're going to be covering a bit of humility. A bit of humility is something we teach in HOI on a regular basis. Is humility. Okay. So I like to say happy Shabbat to anyone who's keeping the Shabbat today. And also remember we got first fruits tomorrow. So brothers and sisters need to read Leviticus 23 and check out the first fruits feast day that the Most High has commanded us to come together on that day. All right then, so let's get first scripture is Matthew 13. All right, this is something we in HOI we try to stand on, hold dear, is being humble and humility. Right? It says here, Matthew 23, verse 10. Can everyone see the screen?
Quran.
Neither be called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. For he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. So you might hear us say we are a servant to the people, because that's the greatest among you. If you're on your own thing, feeding your own belly, right, you ain't going to be the greatest. Okay. The greatest among you will be serving the people. It don't work the other way around. You become bigger in the game, and then now everyone's serving you. No. Okay. Don't want to be walking into a room and my chair's all laid out. Do you know what I'm saying? No. I serve you. Yeah, that's how it goes. And you guys as well. You serve your brothers. That's the spirit you need to be in as you get greater in this truth. You learn more precepts, more breakdowns, get more wisdom. You then have to pass it on like I'm passing it on for free, not charge. Yeah. And it says here, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. So anyone that starts saying, I'm the great one, you're going to be abased. Okay? That means you're going to get flatlined. You're going to get shown up. You're going to get leveled. You're going to get humbled or humiliated, which one you want to call it. And it says, he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So people will exalt you. You'll actually be called one day, be called an elder. You won't call yourself elder. People will start calling you elder. Do you understand? Um, no one, I didn't call myself a pastor or a teacher. Someone called me a pastor. You understand? That's how it goes. Okay. Um, okay. So the next precept we're gonna go to is Matthew 18. Matthew chapter 18, verse 1. Please note down the precepts. Okay. It says here, Matthew 18 and 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? So he's asking here, in the kingdom of heaven, when the kingdom comes that you're bringing, who's going to be the greatest? This is Christ's answer. And Yahushua called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. So he's got a little child now, and he's gone, yo, you man, come here, sit the little youth down, right? is gone and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So here's the point. It says here, except ye be converted. So to convert is to change direction. Okay. Or to change. Right? So you were going in one direction, when you convert, you're now going somewhere else. And this is what you need to do when going to this truth. You've got to become as a little child. If anyone has worked with children before, look at the way children learn. When they ask questions, there's no preconceived notion behind their question. When they learn, they're not learning with an ulterior motive. Okay, as it says when you come before the Lord, don't be double-minded. Right? So these are the attributes of children. When if anyone's ever worked in warehouses, right, and the teacher had to pick up a box, anyone done that before? Go to
Ron.
Yeah, go to a warehouse. Oh, you pick up a box like obviously. We'll just pick up a box, bend our back, and pick the box up. They're like, no, you bend your knees. Now, I was taught this a long time ago. Yeah, if you ask a child, pick up that box, they will pick up the box the right way. They'll bend their knees. They won't bend the back, Pick up the box. Asking anyone got a little child, get a little light box that's kind of big for them, but it's light. And ask them, pick up that box. Guarantee you, they'll bend their knees and pick up the box the same way you're being trained in the warehouse. That just shows you how little children have got attributes that are correct already. And they will and that's how you need to come into this truth, like a little child. And it says, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So unless you're able to achieve these skills, okay, and it's difficult, I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult because a lot of people are puffed up, learn 2 precepts and all of a sudden, yeah, I ain't on it. Yep, I've learned on it to learn now, I'm gone. You can't teach me. I'm offended. All of the foolishness. Until you become little children, you've always got to learn. So the minute you think you can't learn nothing, yeah, you're out of it. That's the beginning of your fall. The minute you think you can't learn something, you always learn something. Okay, as it says, be still. That was another thing we covered yesterday. Was it? Be considerate. That's the word. Be considerate. The ashwagandha powder's working. The water wife, the ashwagandha powder's working. Be considerate. And then it also says to be still. Okay. And then it says become as little children. Always learning. Verse 4. Whosoever shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. How many people do you know that humble themselves as a little child? Do you know many? Do you know few? Who actually does that? Who's got it? I've met people with this humility. Do you understand? My elder who I go to for counsel, he's got this humility as a little child. Literally got the humility of a little child. Yeah. And it says here, and verse 5, and whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me. Right? and verse 6. Whosoever shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. So not only to become as a little child, but whoever offends these little children, it was better that he tie a rock to his neck. Right. That's actually got a deeper meaning, but yeah. All right, so let's get Galatians 6 and verse 3. Galatians 6 and verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. Right? It's something you'll see regular. Okay? A man gets this truth, learns a couple of breakdowns, and all of a sudden thinks he's somebody. But it is true that as you do works in this truth, you do get the breakdowns, get the understanding, you can become someone. Just don't think to yourself that you're something. Other people will exalt you in it. You just do the work. Someone's got to be in charge. Someone has to steer the ship. But it's the spirit that is coming in. So for if a man think himself to be something when he's nothing, he deceiveth himself. He deceiving himself. Okay. It says verse 4. But let every man prove his own work. So when a man is in this truth, you want to know what they're on. See what they're doing. What's the fruit of their labor? What are they teaching? How are they conducting themselves? Okay. 5 years later, are they still on the same thing? 10 years later, are they still on the same thing? Okay. And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Right? Even the sixth verse is really good. Even the sixth verse is really good. It says here, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all things. Okay? So you gotta pass this truth on. You gotta teach it. Okay? All right. Now let's get 1 Corinthians 8 verse 2. 1 Corinthians 8 verse 2. Please note the precepts down. Yeah. At HOI we teach humility, be humble. Yes, let's look at the chat. Yeah, pride come before fall is called natural, what do you call it? Deposition when it's inborn.
Disposition, brother, disposition.
Disposition, what do you mean?
Natural disposition is like that which the Most High has like, you know, made a template on your heart, like the law is written on your heart.
Yeah.
Those same things that are inborn concepts are called the natural disposition, which means the natural state of the being as laid down by the Creator.
Okay. Gone. All praises, man. All praises. And then yeah, so please take notes because I'm not able to take note. Give you some notes at the end, but what about now? All right, and so let's yes. Let's start at verse 1. This is 1 Corinthians 8 verse 1. Now, as touching things offered to idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. So you know, as you learn things, it can give you a big head. That's the best word I can use. But charity edifieth. So once we've got love and charity towards our brothers, right, which is keeping the laws, we will, by following the laws, teach our brothers, show them. But some people get two precepts. I think they're all right. Yeah, I'm done now. Learn all I need to learn. Yeah. No. Okay. Because you get puffed up thinking you know something that you don't know. Hold fast to what you've been taught. And he says, and verse 2, and if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, as yet he ought to know. So that means you must always be learning. There ain't a time when you don't know. And if you think that you know too much, you're in trouble. What was it? Someone said to me once, if if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in trouble. Have you ever heard that saying before? If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to, or you're the smartest person in the crowd, you're in the wrong crowd or something. It's basically just to show you that, like, you must always be learning. If you can't, you need to go somewhere else. You need to learn. Okay. All right then. So let's go to Romans 16 and 17. So lead us into what we're speaking about. Give you a quick example. Right. Romans 16 and 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offences contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. So basically, right, we see when it comes to trespasses, yeah, trespasses happen, but don't hold it against them. Just move wisely. Okay, this is another point to being humble, having humility. Okay, offences will come. You just mark them that cause divisions and avoid them. Because you're going to get these people no matter what camp you go to, what congregation, what group setting. If you run, you're going to find people just you have to avoid them. It says here, look, for they that are such serve not our Lord, Yahushua the Anointed, but their own belly, and by good works and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. So they feeding their own belly. They're not feeding to the sheep. As Christ asked Peter 3 times, feed my sheep. They're feeding their own belly. And that's what you notice people have the spirit of. Not many laborers out here. He says the work is plenty, but the laborers are few. Because people will learn this thing and will feed their own belly. AKA, also known as, they will do their own thing. Your job ain't to get involved, start puffing up yourself, start getting irate about it. Just mark them and avoid them. See what I'm saying? Don't hold it against them. People can change. Just mark it. So now go to Leviticus 19 and 18. We always must go to the Lord. Leviticus 19 verse 8. Please write the precepts down. Write the precepts down. Ooh. Okay. Thou shalt, this is Leviticus 19 verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love the neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. So you can't avenge. You can't. You can't hold, and you most certainly. The point I'm trying to make here, you can't hold a grudge against your own people. You can't hold a grudge against your fellow Israelite brother and sister. You have to let it go. You have to let it go. Not everyone is gonna be a cup of tea. I learned I was not everyone's cup of tea, but you just gotta let it go. Everyone you're gonna rock with. Yeah. Let's go to First John. Four and 20. This is First John 4 and 20. We brought this up a few times. Also on our little tour. It says, if a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen? So anyone who says they love God, yeah, and hateth your brother, you're a liar. You can't love the Most High and hate your brother. You have to go either speak to them or let it go. But I mean, you have to go speak to someone every time there's a problem. Just say your piece and let it go. So it's saying here, how can you love the person that? How can you love if not the person you can see, but then you're gonna love God who you've never seen? Okay? It says here, verse 21, and this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. You love the Most High, you're gonna love your brother. You can't hate your brother and then think, yeah, I can love God though. That don't make no sense. Not everyone's gonna be your cup of tea. Not everyone's you're gonna rub shoulders with, but you must keep it professional. Next precept, let's go to First Peter's 5 and 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. So you must submit yourself to your elders. Okay? Yea, all of you be subject to one another and be clothed with humility. That's the clothing you need to be putting on, is the clothing of humility. For God resisteth the proud and give us grace to the humble. Listen, the Most High will resist the proud. If you got pride in you, the Most High can't work with you. He can't work with you. Who are you giving the credit to? Most High gives you a little favor, a little present here, a little gift here and there. You thank him. It says, acknowledge the Most High in all things. That's what it says, you know. Acknowledge the Most High in all things. Right? So you can't be too proud in this thing. And he gives grace. That means for people who are humble, it gives them more time to get it right. See, if you're proud, it's going to give you less time to get it right. But you think you know something that you don't know. You learn 1, 2 precepts and you're gone clear. You got a little status, and now you don't want to labor with the man anymore. Man, it says endure to the end. It says forgive your brother. Don't hate your brother. Let's get Job 35 and 13. Job, Job 35, verse 13. Going too fast, let me know. Slow down. You will slow down. Okay, it says here, surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. But it says here, although thou sayest, shall not see him, yet judgment is before him, therefore trust thou in him. But now, because it is not so, he hath visited in his anger, yet he knoweth not in great extremity. Therefore doth Job open his mouth in vain, he multiplieth words without knowledge. So what it's basically saying here, right, is you can interfere with your prayers if you're not humble. That's what it's basically saying. If you're not humble with you when you approach the Most High, this can interfere with your prayers. But it said here, surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. He won't even regard it. If you come with some vain thing, he's not even going to regard it. And it says, although thou sayest thou shalt not see him, yet judgment is before him, therefore trust thou in him. So even though you don't see him, judgment is still there. Some people think because you can't see the Most High is not looking, you can't see your foolishness. You can't see what you're doing behind closed doors. You see everything. Do you understand? And that's something that helped me. Picks up, I'm like, wow, the most I can see everything I'm doing, I better fix up. I can't be lying and stealing and cheating and all sorts of foolishness. I can't be doing these things because the most I can see everything. Okay. Um, yeah, so that's it on that really. Now let's go to Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus 7 and 17. Says here, humble thy soul greatly. Right? So you must humble your soul greatly. For the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. So those who are not humble think they know something and they don't know nothing. Vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. Okay. Now let's go to the same Sirach 3 and verse 17 again. My son, go on with thy business in meekness, so shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved. Okay, then it says here, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Not many people can achieve this, but we are to achieve this. And that's why certain positions can only be given to certain people. The greater you are, in position, the more humble you must be. That don't mean soft and then anyone can walk over you and da 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 da. No, we're talking about the humility. Okay. You still be strong, stern, disciplined, all those things, without we're still maintaining the biblical standard of humility. But it says, "Go on thy business with meekness, so thou shalt be beloved of him that is approved." So you go about your business with meekness. Okay, just do the work. All right. And it says here, look, many in verse 19, many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. So he likes to sometimes, what you notice in the storylines, more so likes to bring you down and build you up. Bring you down and build you up. Sometimes you need these things taken away from you for you to listen. Like Moses. Moses lost his place in Egypt. Yeah, he got cast out. He was down low. Then he built him up. Okay. Same thing with a lot of people where they lost a lot. You have to bring them down and then build them up. Or they're in a lowly place and he brings them up, like King David. King David was what? He was a sheep herder. He was out there in the field just protecting the sheep. He was protecting the sheep from lions and all sorts. But he was protecting the sheep, bears and all sorts. And he's a master with the stone sling. What's it called? Slingshot. But he was in a lowly position when Samuel came to look for a king. The man showed him all his sons, but he didn't mention David. He was out in the field. Samuel's like, "No, it's not this one. It's not that one. It's not that one. You got a next one. Where is he? Oh, I got one other guy. He's out in the field." And that was the king, man. That was the king. That's what the Most High works with, man. He works with the lowly, builds you up. Sometimes you might have lows, it might break you down to build you back up again, because you were built up wrong. You ain't gonna listen while you got all that money. You're not gonna listen while you've got all those riches, all those people following you. You know what I'm saying? All those album sales or whatever. You don't know you ain't gonna listen to the Most High. That's what it says. It's hard. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Why is that? Because a rich man ain't gonna listen. He thinks he knows already. Okay, there's an element. You see, when a man's got renown or reputation, any sort, if he comes into the camp, very highly unlikely that he's gonna have the spirit to listen to man that ain't done nothing on the earth in his field. Okay, they're used to people running around and chasing them. Rappers, actors, whoever they got their own little groupies or fanboys, fangirls, whatever. They got people listening to them, doing and following them around. Then it's very rare that they're gonna be knowing all that and they're still gonna be humble enough to hear. I know one, I know one, maybe two. Okay, but there's not many. It says here, 21, this is a good one. It says, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. Okay. So that's why it is good to ask questions, very good. But there does come a point where we all have a level where we might not be able to comprehend, oh yeah, why are you asking questions that are so hard when you haven't mastered the simple things? That's what it's basically saying here. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. If it's above your strength, leave it alone. Master the things that's within your strength. Okay. It says here, but what is commanded thee, think thereupon and reverence. But it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are shewed unto thee than men understand. Let's see. I think it's more, I believe. Right? All right then. So next precept. Let's get Proverbs. I believe it's 17 and 28. Proverbs 17. Ah, right. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 28. It says here, even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Let's go to the verse before it. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. So even someone who's not very bright, if they are quiet, they could be esteemed as wise. You know, when they say sometimes just let someone talk, someone might have the saying that they say, let a man talk or let someone talk, and eventually you'll know the real them. But you can talk yourself into trouble. You can talk yourself. You can actually talk so much. A man's like, yeah, I'm an idiot. You don't know nothing. But even a fool should close his mouth and be esteemed wise. And people have knowledge. They talk slower. They don't keep yapping, 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 yapping. They talk slower. All right. And then there's a reason why we have two ears and one mouth. Because we need to do more listening than we do speaking. Let's go Proverbs 6 and 16. And, you know, we're going over these things, but the key ingredient is to apply these to your life. Proverbs 6 and 16. Okay. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. Hold up 1 second. Yeah, a proud look. So someone who's just proud, pride for nothing, don't hear no talk. Yeah, a proud look. A lying tongue goes without saying. Someone who can't tell the truth, can't be honest. Intellectual dishonesty. And hands that shed innocent blood. The Most High hates people who kill innocent people. a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. So a mind that thinks of wicked imaginations, thinks of doing something wicked. Most I hates that. Feet that be swift in running to mischief. So like, sometimes you might you're talking to someone and you see if some beef happens. Not to say you can't look. People are over there running over there. Oh, want to see, want to see, want to see. Always running to mischief. Something's happened. Oh yeah, what's happened today? You can't be swift in running towards mischief. Leave it alone. Something's happening. I'm standing over here. I'm looking from over here. I don't need to go on. No, don't go over there. Just stay where you're there. Can't be always running to mischief anytime some beef happens. We're having an intellectual conversation about righteousness, and someone starts doing something, and you want to run over there. Not to say not to look, but you want to run over there. It's a feet that be swift in running towards mischief. Okay. Next one. It says, a false witness that speaketh lies. So you are a false witness. It says, thou shalt not bear a false witness against your brother. You can't be a false witness that speaks lies. Most I hates that. Okay. And then the next one, I think we've got 6 so far. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. And he said the 7th is an abomination. This is an abomination. And him that soweth discord among brethren. That's something you can't do. You can't sow discord amongst the brethren. Set that guy against that guy. Used to agree, so used to are going off. Oh yeah, them man, I don't understand that. Only me and you understand that. You can't sow discord amongst the brethren. Yeah, I heard he said that about you. Yeah, go tell him that. Yeah, you can't do these things. The Most High sees that. That's an abomination. Okay. Now let's go to Proverbs 15 and 33. I've been there already. I've been there already. Well, I've been to Proverbs 15 and 33. Rings a bell somewhere. All right, we're gonna read from verse 32. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul. You get to a point where you just don't want to hear no more. You despise your own soul. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. Sometimes it's good to be reproved, It's not, you must seek that sometimes. Verse 33. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. So that's the fear of the Most High, the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. You gotta be humble in this thing. In HOI, you gotta be humble in this thing, man. You gotta be humble. We're a humble camp. Don't just say, whoa, raw, we'll tie about yourself. Don't, it doesn't mean a man won't get rebuked and cussed out and whatever. No, we're not saying that. We're saying how we carry ourselves amongst our brethren, how we carry ourselves in our positions, the ranking that we have, we're humble with it. When we learn something or we want to learn something or we're trying to learn something, we're humble with it. When it comes to misunderstandings, if so we speak to someone who has a different understanding, we're humble with it. Ah, you don't believe what I believe, you don't laugh. Anyone's not in this camp, it's going to hell. This can't be true. That can't be true. That can't be true. So yeah, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Yeah, we got next. Hallelujah. HOI to the chariots fly. This is our class, HOI UK, on humility and the importance of it. I hope everyone got some understanding on that. Does anybody have any questions? No? Any comments? No? Any precepts? No. All right, let me stop sharing.